What if that voice you followed wasn't God at all? Some of the deepest pain doesn't come from doing something evil, but from following something you thought was good. A dream, a sudden peace, a phrase that felt like a sign, a decision you were convinced was meant to be, and you followed it thinking, God is leading me. But now you're not closer to peace. You're sitting in pain. You're isolated. You're spiritually confused, and everything that once felt so certain now feels wrong. It's not because you're stupid or spiritually weak. It's because the enemy is subtle. 2 Corinthians 11 verse 14 says, Satan himself transforms himself into an angel of light. He doesn't just tempt you to do wrong. He tempts you to follow what looks right, so that when it breaks you, you'll blame God. He'll dress it in spiritual language. He'll stir a feeling of urgency. He'll make it emotional. He'll give you what feels like peace, but it fades as soon as you act on it, because it was never real. It wasn't Christ. It was noise. It was manipulation. It was a counterfeit peace, the kind that doesn't last. St. John of the Ladder warned us, the devil loves to send visions and spiritual feelings to the inexperienced, leading them to pride or despair. And this is what happens. You begin to feel betrayed, not by the devil, but by God. You think, if that wasn't from him, how can I ever trust again? Or worse, maybe I'm just not meant to hear God at all. But that's the trap. The enemy doesn't want to mislead you. He wants you to mistrust God. He wants you to believe that suffering and sadness are the results of God's guidance, when in reality, you were tricked into following something that never came from him. And here's how you can tell the difference. God's voice leads to clarity, not confusion. God's signs invite stillness, not panic. God's presence brings humility, not pride. And above all, God leads to peace, not the emotional high that disappears overnight, but the deep, quiet kind that settles your soul. The devil's voice? It demands, it pressures, it flatters, and then it disappears, leaving you in suffering, sadness, isolation, and spiritual fog. So if you're hurting right now because of something you once thought was a sign, you're not crazy, you're not broken, but you do need to come back to Christ and ask, was that you? Or was I just afraid and hopeful and easily led? God is not angry with you, but he is calling you back to his voice, one that doesn't use fear or pressure or manipulation, one that brings real healing, not emotional confusion. You don't need to follow every dream, every word, every feeling that stirs your emotions. You need to test the spirits. You need silence. You need discernment. And you need the humility to admit, maybe that wasn't God, but I know he's still here. So ask yourself today, what have I been calling a sign that's led me further from peace, not closer to God? If this video spoke to you, please comment below and share your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to the channel for more. Glory to God for all things, and God bless.